guys, welcome. Hi. Today is a very special day because we have an amazing guest, the Miss Farrah Abraham.
Thank you for having me, everyone.
So fun to be here with you. I'm excited.
I know, we've been so excited. And a lot of you guys might recognize her from Teen Mom.
Yes.
This is your 4th and final season.
Yes, it's bittersweet, but can't wait to watch.
Right. And she has a beautiful daughter, Sophia.
She's 3 now.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Yes, she's growing.
So one thing I think we all have in common that we don't really think about but teen moms. I mean, you were 16, yes. I was 19, you were
19.
Yes. So we were all very, very young when
yes,
we decided.
Struggles and hardships.
Yes.
There's a lot to talk about.
I actually got a comment saying, will you talk about your teen pregnancy? And I was thinking, what? I was like, oh, I was a teenager when I got pregnant.
Well, because you shoot right through it and you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. It didn't seem odd to me to have children so young. It was kind of just like what we did.
Well, I think some of the smaller cities or towns were from, I mean, there's not much to do there. And I think also that's why most teenagers have sex is because we're bored.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you saw in Juno, that's what you see on our show. And I visit home now after traveling and working, and I'm thinking, what are these teens thinking by having sex so early? Mm-hmm. There's so much of the world out there to see.
Yeah.
And you don't, I mean, honestly, Sophia does not hold me back. Sophia comes with me. I have my family help me with watching her. But I just want other teens and other moms to know that there's so much still out there, not to be bogged down by just having a family.
Right.
You have to be successful, and you have to make a world for your children to be happy that they're a part of, and be educated and be out there.
I was married when I got pregnant, and I don't know. It wasn't weird, like I said.
Yeah. Well, to me, there's more crime and things in the bigger cities.
Yeah.
But I see lots of older, like 30-somethings still single and not having children. Because compared to back home, you know, they would be like 30-something and already have a couple children and married.
Right.
Like you said, there's a whole other world that I think that teenagers should just explore in college and educating yourselves and going after your dreams. But sometimes, you know, children come and it changes our dreams, and nothing's wrong with that. But if you can plan it, do your best.
Better.
Yeah.
So how did you feel when you found out you were pregnant?
How did I feel? Well, I was contemplating for like 2 weeks. I need to go in and get the test. So eventually I went in, and I was on birth control at this time. So when I went in, I was, you know, thinking I should be fine, but I just have to do this because my six-pack was like getting weird. So I took the test, and it came back as I was positive and I was pregnant. So I was first crying, and then I ended up turning a little crazy and started yelling at the woman. Just
turning a little crazy.
Yeah, because I'm just like, I'm taking birth control. I was doing I was trying to avoid getting pregnant so strongly, and then it to backfire. I was not happy about that. And then my boyfriend at the time did not pick up the phone when I found out, and I was just like, okay, nobody is here for me. I feel alone, and I was not happy about the situation I put myself in.
Right.
So I had to go home and face the fact of it and tell my parents.
Was that so hard for you?
That was very hard. I had one of my girlfriends come with me when I told my parents, because I wasn't even stable enough or, you know, woman enough to say I had sex, I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it was my boyfriend for a couple of years, they knew.
Yeah.
It was just still the letdown factor. So.
Yeah.
So were your parents the hardest to tell?
Of course they were the hardest to tell. Like, they said if I ever got pregnant, they would kick me out. You know, like the threats and everything that your parents try to scare you so you don't, you know, become that. And when I told them, my mom was just very hurt and let down and cried, and my dad was actually very supportive, and he's like, I'm not happy about it, but he's like, we're here to help you. And they just gave me my space, because I was just crying the whole day anyways. I was upset at myself. So
tell us what your relationship was with your parents. How was it before you were pregnant? Do you have a good relationship with your mom and dad, do you feel like?
When I look back at my relationship with my family, it has drastically changed, because before I had a boyfriend, everything was perfect. I was like their little girl, and I was so happy, and I loved my parents, and they would be in and out of town, but we still had a great relationship. So after, you know, I started dating, and then I had a boyfriend, then I saw my relationship with my parents really changing, because they tried to be open and honest, like with my boyfriend and I, like, don't have sex. Like, they really invested energy and time in talking to us about, you know, being smart, not, you know, being a regular teenager and going through puberty and all these things. So I think once it finally got to prom and those things, the tension was clear. And then after that, you know, they knew that we started having sex. So it was like my parents really were angry and were lashing out sometimes. So we would fight and argue, and I would not want to come home. And I think that's when our relationship started getting worse. And then when I told him I had gotten pregnant, it seemed that we started coming together again as a family and getting better. But then with issues of, you know, having Sophia and stress, financial stress and other things, we came apart again. And now it's like we're back together, but we had to completely get in fights and argue and really ruin our relationships and go back to counseling and invest time and energy and really working on our relationship. So now we're back together, but it's been a big flux, like back and forth, and it's really hard. So
that is hard, but it's like sometimes those hardest things make us like bring us to the greatest places. Because I remember when I told my parents, I just thought the same thing. Like, I was gonna write my mom a letter because I was like, no way I could sit there. But my mom told me I was pregnant before I was. She's like, you're pregnant. I was like, no, Mom, you have to be like, you know, to get pregnant, and I'm not doing that, you know. And I just remember she was like, you're pregnant. I know, because my mom has intuition, like, so I could never do anything wrong. She always knew. But I just remember, like, we went through some definite serious family fights, but it was good. It was a good, I think it's made me a more honest person, because that was, I thought, the hardest thing to ever do was to tell your parents, like, I can do anything now. That was my worst nightmare.
I think some of the life experiences I've gone through has me feeling like almost invincible, not like teenager invincible, but like really hardworking, and I can do anything now and be open and honest with anybody at any time now because of what we had to go through with our parents. So
definitely.
So we asked the viewers at home if they had any questions for you, and we have a few here.
So Vandra Love asks, how did you replace the father figure for Sophia after the tragic accident of your boyfriend? How do you plan on telling Sophia of her father's loss? Are you going to wait till she asks? She also says she has a sister who lost a parent a week after she was born, and she doesn't know how her family should approach this.
Okay, that's a great question, Sandra. How I deal with sharing with Sophia the loss of her father is basically every year we go to Derek's gravesite, and also we take pictures, we record it, and I have a whole baby box with Sophia with letters, with pictures telling how and why things happened and why I'm here today alone. And because supporting your child when they don't have a father figure, whether or not if they passed away or if they're just absent in their life, I feel writing and telling and sharing, you know, when you guys can't really conversate right now because they're too young to understand, is the best way. So when they get older, they know that they're loved, they're still cared about, and you're going to be there. So they don't have to seek love from anybody else, because that just causes problems later on in their life.
So if you feel comfortable talking about this, maybe some of our viewers don't know what happened to Derek. Do you?
Yeah, Sophia's father, Derek, passed away in a car accident when I was 8 months pregnant. So
was that the hardest thing ever? I mean, here you are, 8 months pregnant, you had to tell your parents, go through that, you know, and I'm sure the pregnancy was so hard, you know, just being young, and Derek was young, and you guys probably figuring things out, and then you had this great loss.
Yeah, it was very hard, because at the time we took a break from talking, because most boys are not at that age mature enough to deal with pregnancy and stepping up for our father. So we took a break, and then when his car accident happened, you know, I only had in my head, you know, well, after I have Sophia, I hope we can get back together and everything will work out. But my situation turned out way different, and it was pretty tragic, and it was definitely a hard thing to go through.
I'm so glad you're putting everything out there. I think the world needs more people to be honest and be like, it's just life, you know, and life isn't perfect, and we can never plan on what's going to happen.
Yes, I think it's very important, like, to keep in mind, though, when we're teenagers and we do really feel like the world is like our oyster and we are invincible and, you know, everything's going to turn out perfect no matter what we do. I think that's why it's important that we did Teen Mom, 16 and Pregnant, and, you know, I wrote my book so others can understand, even though we have the best intentions doing whatever we want, like living, horrible things can happen to us.
Right.
And we have to take responsibility for our actions. So.
Yeah, learn to come out of those.
Another viewer question from Nicole Davenport. How do you think Sophia will react when she is old enough to understand and watch the episodes of 16 and Pregnant that featured your life?
I can only hope when we have that big day and conversation of her actually understanding everything, she'll be proud of me. And she'll make the right choices, and we can have like the best mother and daughter relationship that I wish I even had growing up, you know? So I'm just excited for that moment. But right now, she knows Farrah, MTV Teen Mom, because so many of our fans coming up and saying this, and you know, her just, you know, absorbing it. She knows what it is, and she watches the show, she hears the music come on, and she's like, oh, it's Teen Mom. And the same way with some of like the other teen moms that I work with, Caitlin, Macy, and Amber, our kids all know. And so we think that's great that they can at least recognize it.
I think it's so funny, people don't realize how smart our kids are, and they pick up, because I feel like I pull out my phone and I'm not even taking a picture, and Cooper's like posing or like trying to talk to it.
Exactly. Sophia is the same way. I think, but it's good though, because like Sophia was like born on TV, so it's she definitely has that whole perception of, oh, this is a camera, this is a mic, and like all of our crew people definitely incorporate her in like fun videos that we do, and we have so much fun. But it's good that our kids are thinking these things are convenient and easy to be a part of, rather than being scared of the camera or scared of like recording, taking pictures. I mean, it's better for them, really. And I'm just happy that Sophia and all of our kids, sons, whatever, are just happy to be a part of like the surroundings.
Yeah, it would change our lifestyle if our kids were like, I don't want to do that.
Well, it is. It's kind of hard if we can't like have fun, and you know, kids are like this sometimes if they have a bad experience. So I'm happy Sophia's not that way. Your kids are definitely open to that, which is awesome.
So right now, I think on the internet, I love that it's been an issue that's been brought to everyone's attention, bullying, and whether it's like cyberbullying or at schools.
It's no good.
Yeah, how?
It's no good.
So you feel like you had to deal with that a lot because you were so young? I mean, high school, rumors spread like all get out, you know?
Yes. For my high school years, I definitely was bullied quite the bit. So growing up through high school for me, since I was known as like a popular cheerleader, I hate to say the stereotype, but that's really what I was at the time. I would have lots of hate, and I think all of us who really try to be out there, put ourselves in activities and be, you know, in sports and just have a good time, go out and partying and everything of that scene in high school, it causes a lot of drama and hate, and so I would be bullied to the point where some of my friends who I thought were so close, we ended up getting in physical fights.
Physical fights?
Yes, and almost got suspended for these things.
Like you threw punches? Or they
I
threw
did not
punches?
start it, they did.
She just finished it.
Yeah, I did just finish it, but who cares? It's not about who wins or loses.
Yes, it is. It's always about winning. Just kidding.
Don't mess with this girl.
I know.
Yeah, no, I'm just in a way better place regardless. But fighting is not worth your time. And I think looking back now, where we are as mothers, I'm not even proud to say I got in fights or had to deal with those bad friends. I would just rather be more to myself and, you know, just be more with your family rather than think your friends who are changing and not really supportive are your family. Friends are not family, they're friends.
That's why I tell people don't get so stuck in the high school phases.
That's what I'm saying.
Because people change, and those people that you thought were your best friends, you like move on in life.
I can honestly say I don't have one friend from high school now. I know that sounds really pathetic and sad,
No.
but that is really what my life is, and I'm super happy that I've met new friends and new moms. And so it's putting yourself out there in a different way and finding people who are truly like you, so you don't have to worry about being hated on and bullied.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a
So
joke.
when you went to school and you were pregnant, how was that different?
Well, actually, I graduated school before I had Sophia, so I was about ready to pop up until I did have her, but I graduated, like a month before I had Sophia. So that was my big goal. I was like, I do not want to come back to high school after I have my daughter. I am here getting it done. So I graduated early, I started college early, and then I had Sophia.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So you were going to the same high school, same peers you saw every day, but pregnant.
Yes, and it was definitely through me getting bigger, pregnancy-wise, more and more friends I just kept like saying no to because I didn't want to be involved in the same space or environment or choices that they were making. I had to change my life. I was going to be a parent, and lots of people will not be supportive of it or understand. So
yeah, because where I'm from, there's like a separate school that they send the girls to, or it's like it's so crazy because we all know, and it's across the street. And it's like there's where the pregnant girls go, or the pregnant moms.
I have to say, like, through pregnancy, you will see a lot of discrimination. You will see a lot of, just lots of people who don't lift you up. They would rather push you down, leave you behind.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I did not let get me down. And, with work even. I mean, lots of older women have to deal with, like, their jobs firing them because they're pregnant and, hearsay. And I just think it's very hard, and you need to be prepared for that. And so I'm happy we're talking about it to share with you guys. There's a lot of hardships with becoming pregnant if you're not in the right environment.
Yeah, I even learned that because when I was originally pregnant, I lived in Idaho, and then my ex-husband and I moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yes.
And it was so funny because I've always grown up in a small town. It's like, that's, a lot of people are very young and get married and have kids early. And walking through the mall and just like having my little pregnant belly, people would stare at me like because I looked really young. I was 19. And it was just so funny from the small town mentality to moving to the big, Oklahoma. People are just like, you're so young. Are you sure? Are you sure this is what you want? I'm like, well, yeah. Like,
what am I going to do now?
Yeah. So I was never bullied, but I just think people's, opinions on
judgmental.
A little bit judgmental.
Yeah. I didn't feel it from peers. I felt it at the hospital, like leaving and feeling like the nurses were like not wanting to hand me my baby, and especially with my little boy. And I was 23 when I had him.
Yeah.
And I had a little girl at home, a 3-year-old. And the nurse, seriously, when we were leaving, I thought she was going to be in tears. She seriously, did not want to give me my baby to take home. And I was like, I am a mom. I know what I'm doing.
I got this, girl.
I think she was just thinking, this young girl, I'm sending this poor little baby home with this young girl.
I can just say from hearing lots of mothers' experiences, the hospital is sometimes not the friendliest place.
Right.
Even though that's where you have to bring our children into this world at that location. So I would just leave the nurses behind.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a question for both of you mamas. How is dating different now that you have children?
I would say I'm way pickier, harder. I mean, I haven't dated in a while, so I'm waiting for the right one.
Do you feel like it's kind of awkward?
I'm not awkward about it. I'm pretty relatable. I'm just like, what's real? Do you really have a job? Do you really take care of your women? Like, I get those tough questions out of the way so we can relax.
Yeah. It's almost better because I know that I've always wanted kids, and now dating with a child, it's good because it limits down, I think, a lot of the guys that you would have had to gone through and filter through.
Yes.
It helps the whole dating process, but
do you feel like any guy that you've met has been scared by the fact that you have children or a child?
I think if they're too mature in their heads, of course they're going to be scared. But I try to avoid going on dates with people like that. So.
Yeah.
Good job, girls.
It's very picky right now. Picky.
You sound too busy to be dating anyways.
I don't really have time. And I mean, there's lots of guys who are like, oh, let's go to lunch, let's go to this. But honestly, I mean, if work is my partner right now.
Yeah.
And without that, I mean, I wouldn't be so happy. So.
Yeah.
Right.
You have a YouTube channel, and you're going to be, expanding upon that. What are you going to put out there? What's the content you're looking at investing in?
Yes, I think just showing Sophia's growing habits so other moms and children can grow with us. I mean, we've grown on TV together, and other moms and my fans tell me every day that they enjoy that relationship with us. So I'm going to just continue that. And I hope to show some cookies, sneak peeks of my restaurant in the future, some of the menu items. And we could probably do some vlogs of my book that's going to be coming out in August at the end of the summer. So
super
stay
exciting.
tuned.
Such a busy mama.
Yes.
All right, you guys, thank you for stopping by. Make sure you leave comments below. Give Farrah your love.
And tune in to our last season of Teen Mama on MTV.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah,
Big news
I'm so
coming.
excited. I'm so excited and sad.
I know, it's a bittersweet moment.
Right.
I can't believe it's the last moments.
Last moments.
The last moments of Teen Mom.
Hopefully more to come. We'll see.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah,
You've given such great advice and such great answers to our viewers.
Yes, I'm happy to learn about your guys' motherhood. It's taught me so much. We all learn from each other. So thank you, moms.
Strong women coming together, right? Bye, everybody. Thanks for stopping by.